Hi there. I hope you can hear me okay. This will be a stretching video using a strap. We're going to focus on the legs from the feet all the way up to the hips and even the lower back. So when you've got your strap, maybe a yoga mat if you need it, or if you've got some carpeting, that's totally fine. Join me. Go ahead and take your strap. You might make a loop or you can just fold it in half. You can also use a belt and then come down to your back. And from here, I'm gonna lift the right leg up and take the strap around the ball of my foot. And let the left leg relax down to the floor. And then here, I'll take a few breaths and flex the foot. Try to push the knee back. I have baggy pants on, but try to push the knee back so that the leg straightens out as best you can. If it's only to here, the knee is still bent, but you feel stretch in the hamstrings and the calves, great. Do what you can. Don't push too hard, okay? Now flex the foot. Inhale, push your heel up against the strap. And exhale, relax a little bit. Inhale, push your foot against the strap. Push, push, push. Exhale and relax. Inhale, push again. I like to do this 5 times. Push, push, push. Exhale, relax. 2 more. Inhale, push. Exhale, stretch, relax. Last one, push against the strap as you inhale. Exhale, soften and pull. I'm pulling with the arms. I'm really not pulling very hard. My shoulders are not creeping up by the ears. I'm just using the weight of my arms really against the strap to pull. And then begin to flex the toes a little more and stay there and breathe. You ought to feel a nice stretch up the hamstrings, back of the knee, calf muscles, all the way into the Achilles. So the more you flex your foot, the more you can feel stretch down into the calf muscles as well. Breathe length into the back side of the right leg. Exhale, releasing tension. Take another breath. And then go ahead and bring the right leg over to the right side. You might hold it with the both right hand and the left hand, or simply the left hand. I like to use my elbow on the floor or perhaps a block if I'm pretty tight, and use my hand as sort of a shelf, a little support to keep my leg from coming so far down, because I want to keep this left hip down on the floor as best I can. So you can still feel a stretch as you flex the foot. And turn the toes out ever so slightly. You feel it nicely in the back of the knee. Feel it on the inner thigh. Keep relaxing through the shoulders, simply using the arms as a support for the leg. And take about 2 more breaths. I like 5 breaths per stretch here. You can always do it again, or even pause the video and continue breathing in each stretch. Very good. And then I'm gonna bend the knee and come into like a half happy baby. And so I might, if I'm very tight, hold on behind the hamstring and like encourage the hamstring out towards the underarm, really, like under the arm by the shoulder. If I can reach the foot, I'm going to reach for the foot. I like to go for the outside. Some people like the inside. Just grab something and pull down. Again, relax through the shoulders. Keep your left hip grounded on the floor. You can place the left hand on top of the left hip bone. left thigh perhaps. Half happy baby is a bent knee position, stretching through the groin, the inner thighs, and again the hamstrings. And then go ahead and release. And you might get rid of the strap for this one. We'll take half pigeon on our back. So if your hips are very tight, we're going to stretch this right glute and hip. Okay, so if your hips are tight, you might keep the left foot on the floor. You might already feel a stretch here in this position in your outer right hip. If you don't, you can bring the knees both towards your chest. And I've got the right ankle just past the left thigh here. And then I'll reach the arms between the legs. And then interlock fingers behind the left hamstring or around the left shin on the outside, whatever works best for you. Keep flexing through the right foot here. And then pull the legs towards you. At the same time, right leg is actively engaged through the right foot. And I'm kind of encouraging the right hip away from me as I pull the knees toward my chest. So right hip pushing down towards the floor and away from me. Pulling the knees in towards me. So there's sort of a counter action going on here that helps to increase the stretch sensation. Getting into the piriformis, the rotator muscles on the right hip here. You might even feel your IT band. Really good. And take another breath here. Let the breath move through you. And then let it go. One more stretch before we change legs. We will get that IT specifically. Again, take the strap around the ball of your foot. Stretch the left leg back down towards the floor. And then I'm going to bring the right leg straight-ish. So my knee is maybe just tiny little bit bent, not locked out, yeah? Not locked out. Foot flexed, foot pretty active. I'm bringing the right leg across the side body, across to the left side. Keep your right hip on the floor for this. Keep the right foot engaged. You ought to feel a pretty significant stretch down the side of the right leg, the iliotibial band. You might even feel it all the way down the shin, the calf muscle, all the way down towards the heel. Keep this right hip down on the floor. Breathe your breath. You might experiment pulling the leg in a little bit closer towards your face, or maybe pushing it down away from you to get that bittersweet spot, I like to call it, because it can get quite intense here. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders. Take another breath. And let it go. Go ahead, relax the right leg down to the floor. You can windshield wiper the foot. You can windshield wiper the knees. Both side to side. And then we'll move to the other leg. Hopefully I don't forget one of the stretches. It used to happen these days. Okay, take your strap around the left ball of the foot. Allow yourself to come into a space that is equally sensational, not too much, not too little, but like that Goldilocks position. Feeling the stretch, but it's not painful, yeah? And then we'll begin our P and F breath. So I forget what the PNF stands for, but if you know, you know. As we inhale, we'll push your foot into the strap. As you exhale, you relax. This helps to engage and relax the muscles to encourage a deeper stretch. Okay, so inhale, flex the foot, push your foot against the strap. Exhale, gently relax the leg, maybe pull towards you a little bit. Relax the shoulders. Inhale, push your foot against the strap, straighten the knee as best you can. Exhale, relax the leg. And you'll see I'm getting a little more length through the back of my leg here as I inhale, push. Exhale, relax. 2 more breaths. Inhale, push. Exhale, relax. Last one, inhale, push. Exhale, relax. Stay here. Flex your foot. Feel that stretch go all the way down, maybe to the bottom of your foot even. From the sole of the foot to the calf muscles, the Achilles, behind the knee, the hamstrings, all the way up to those glutes on the back. Take one more breath. Excellent. Okay, bring the left leg out to the left. And again, I'm using my left elbow on the floor. Left hand is gonna kind of support my calf muscle. I'm holding the strap now with the right hand. I'm keeping weight in the right side body. Avoiding rolling over and lifting the right hip off the floor. Staying grounded through both sides of the sacrum. Noticing the stretch of the inner thigh, the hamstring, the groin, but also I'm feeling a bit of a stretch through the hip flexor on the right leg here. If you've got a little bit more room to let the leg come down, do it. If not, stay where you are. Breathe your breath for another 2. And 1. Excellent. Bend the knee and take half happy baby. I'm going to bring that knee down outside the rib cage. Maybe hold on behind the knee. Maybe hold on to the foot with the left hand. You might just get rid of the strap here. If you cannot reach the foot, grab the ankle, but encourage the left knee outside of the rib cage, kind of working it towards your underarm essentially. Keep that right hip down again and engage through the left foot. Flex the foot, sole of the foot towards the ceiling as if you're going to put a footprint up there. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. Take one more breath. Let the breath move through. Excellent. Release it. Bend your both knees. We'll take that half pigeon shape on your back. Left ankle. Bring it across the right thigh. Just depending on which perspective you're at, above or below, above the knee. So on the thigh, above the knee, yeah. Either stay right here or bring the both knees toward you. You can reach between the 2 legs, not around them, but between. Reach the left arm between the left leg and the right leg. Interlock the fingers behind the right knee and start to pull the knees toward you. Stay flexed through this left foot. That will help protect the knee. Encourage that left hip away from you, like down towards your feet, as if you're pushing your hip towards the bottom of the mat, essentially. Pulling the knees toward you, pushing the hip down into the floor and towards the bottom of the mat. And then breathe your breath. Always find the breath. Master the pose and come into the breath. Take a 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale again. Exhale. And on the next inhale, we release. One more thing, take your strap for your iliotibial stretch. So take the strap around the ball of the foot again. Stretch your right leg long on the mat. Here we go. I'm going to bring the left foot across to the right side. And again, I'm going to keep my left hand on top of my left hip. Push the left hip down into the floor. Don't let it come up. It becomes a spine twist if I come all the way down, right? So, just to get through the side of the left leg, keep the left hip grounded, both sides of the sacrum on the floor. Both sides of your lower back, both sides of your butt on the floor. Stay engaged through the foot. Don't lock out your left knee. So you might take like a slight bend in the left knee, but it ought to be, again, like a pretty intense stretch down the side from the hip to the knee, from the knee to the heel, perhaps. Depending on how tight you are, you may not feel it in the lower leg. You may not feel it in the upper leg. You may feel it in both places, but breathe your breath. Two more. Good, and then release. Get rid of your strap, set it to the side. Forget about it for now. Here I'm going to bring the heels in towards my hips, push up to a bridge. Squeeze the hips, lift. You might feel stretch on the hip flexors or the abdomen, or even the quads and knees. Just hold here for 3. 2, slow breaths in and out through the nose. 1 more, hips a little higher. Slowly exhale, 1 vertebra at a time. Bring your knees toward you. Full happy baby. Open the knees wide. You can grab your ankles, your knees, your shins. Open the knees wide. Rock a little bit side to side. Release your feet back to the floor. Fingertips might graze the heels if your knees are okay with that kind of bend. Come back up into another bridge. Hold for 3. 2. 1 more. Slowly lower on the exhale, 1 vertebra by 1, lower down. Grab your feet, grab your hamstrings, grab your ankles. Open the knees wide, happy baby. Pull the knees down to the outside of the body. Push your tailbone back down into the floor. Rock a little bit side to side. And this time we're going to hug the knees to the chest. You might just pull the knees toward you. Keep your head on the floor. If your neck is tight, you might have a block behind you or a pillow. If you can grab your forearms or your wrists around the knees, try that. Push the tailbone down into the floor. Look toward your knees. Keep your head down. Stretch the back of the neck. And then we'll take a gentle twist to the right. Bring the both knees over to the right. Bring the left arm out to the left side. And then gaze over the left shoulder. Breathe your breath. Take a deep breath. Let the breath go. Come back to center. Hug the knees back toward your chest. And then drop the knees now to the left side. Stretch the right arm over to the right. Eyes over the right shoulder towards the right fingertips. Breathe your breath. Take one more breath. Excellent. Go ahead and roll over and come on up. And I hope that is helpful. Just a short, quick 20 minutes stretch through the lower body. Use it as much as you need. Thank you. Namaste.